Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Annalyn Aban from Pelta Multimedia Incorporated. Today is our scheduled demonstration. At Pelta Multimedia, we aim to modernize education. And in order for us to do that, we keep on sharing new solution that we can use for our education programs, especially at the moment we are facing COVID-19 pandemic. Now, let me introduce Physics Lab under ROQED. It's a new solution that we can use in order for us to innovate education system here in the Philippines. So, in partnership with ROQED, okay, we'll be sharing with you a physics lab. Okay, so what is ROQED? ROQED is a global education technology company that develops 3D science software and technology for schools. ROQED Physicals Lab is a complete virtual experiment lab. Okay, it is a complete virtual 3D simulator of physics lab to conduct practical experiment and demonstration in physics classes. And ROQED Physics Lab allows students to systematically study and simulate various physical experiments on their own or under the supervision of an instructor. Working with ROQED Physics Lab, students can set up specific lab, run experiment, derive needed values, analyze the results, estimates error, and submit their lab reports to the instructor. Now, with this ROQED Physics Lab, we can enjoy 40 pre-installed experiment with, of course, step-by-step instructions. It can covers all the K to 12 physics topic and materials. Plus, this ROQED Physics Lab is available in 13 different languages. All right. So, what are the benefits of the student can get with a ROQED Physics Lab? Of course, our student can enjoy complete set of equipments to conduct any possibility or possible lab in virtual physics classroom. Plus, our students can try all virtual simulation that corresponds to the law of the nature. Then our student will feel the accurate and realistic 3D models, create immersive experience into the virtual world. Then our student can run more than 40 pre-installed experiment with step-by-step instruction. And of course, our student can create their own real or fantastic experiments. Then right afterwards, the student can learn physics thoroughly and more easily for they can have their laboratory with the comfort of their home. Now, what are the key features of ROQED Physics Lab? Of course, it comes with an extensive base of experiment covering the entire school physics course. It comes with an own virtual multi-million-dollar laboratory for each student. Um, this can correct simulation of physical process, gravity, combustion, evaporation, friction, and etc. Okay, this physics lab comes with a complete set of tools and instruments that are necessary for each experiment. Then it also comes with Design Studio for you to create unique virtual experiment. Plus, this ROQED Physics Lab comes with photorealistic graphics and animation that can attract our students and keep them engaged. Right, so what are the list of content that we can explore and enjoy with ROQED Physics Lab? Okay, we can enjoy physical quantities and measurement. So with that measurement of physical quantities, sizing small bodies, body volume measurement, and irregular body volume measurement, and more. All right. For mechanics, we'll be talking about kinematics. We can determine body acceleration with uniformly accelerated movement, of course. Then we can also enjoy study of horizontal project motion, study of circular motion under the gravity, then investigation projectile motion launched at different angles. Other contents are mechanics. So with this, we'll be talking about more on statics and dynamics. The study of an elastic deformation, the study of the law of Archimedes, checking the condition for floating bodies in a liquid, and so on. Another contents are molecular physics and thermodynamics. Okay, wherein these are the list of the lesson that we can explore and enjoy. Another contents are electric circuits. Then we also have optics, wave optics to be exact, observation of light, interference and diffraction, determination of the light wavelength using a diffraction grating, and optics, we have geometric optics as well, elementary particle, and etc. All right. Now for our live demonstration, okay, um, I'll be calling one of our instructor at I Create Cafe Manila. Okay, let me call in Teacher Lance Aban. Okay. All right. So Teacher Lance will be sharing one of the lesson that we can enjoy um with physics lab. Okay, highlighting the Ohm's law. Okay, please take it away, Teacher Lance.
Right, so thank you so much, Teacher Annalyn. Okay, then let's open the study of Ohm's law for the certain segment. Okay, for the actual demonstration, I'll be sharing the Ohm's law for the certain segment of a circuit. Okay, okay, so before we open the study of Ohm's law, what is Ohm's law? Okay, the Ohm's law tells us the electrical current in the circuit be calculated by dividing the voltage by the resistance. In other words, the current is directly proportional to the voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance. Right? So, let's open it. Right. So, inside the physics laboratory, we have here the table, okay, laboratory table. So, let's take around inside the laboratory. Right? Okay. And after the table, we have here the blackboard. Okay. We have here the Ohm's law current strength in the homogeneous metallic conductor are directly proportional to the voltage at the end of this conductor. It inversely proportional to the resistance. All right. So this is sample of a schematic diagram. Okay. So in the schematic diagram, we have the electronic symbol. Okay. So this one is the DC power supply. Okay. We have the positive and the negative. And then we have here the ammeter, the reader of the amps. Okay. And then we have the voltmeter to read the voltage. And then here is the resistor. And we have here the key or the switch. And the line is that is the wire of the sample of circuit. Right? In our right side, we are here the electronic parts. We have the ammeter, voltmeter, key or the switch, power supply, 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 5 ohms, and 3 ohm resistor. We have here another the rheostat and light bulb. All right. In the left side, we have here the instruction. Okay. First, build the electronic circuit shown in the figure. Okay. So this is the schematic diagram. Kokopahin lang natin using the electronic parts on the right side. Okay. So let's start with the power supply. So let's get the power supply, put it on the table, right? Next is the ammeter. Let's get the ammeter, put in here, and then the voltmeter. Okay, and then the resistor. Let's get the 1 ohm resistor, and then the key or the switch. Right? So let's copy the sample schematic diagram on the blackboard. So the positive must go to the ammeter. So click the red, then wire to the black, and then positive, the positive again, and then for the negative, go to the positive. Okay, and then negative for the negative. Okay, and then let's parallel the voltmeter to the resistor. All right, so that's it. Then next instruction is run the simulation, make 3 measurements of the electric circuit while using the resistor with resistance 1 ohm. So we are using 1 ohm resistor. Okay. For each measurement, enter the resistance, current, and voltage value to the table. So this is our table. Okay. So first, let's read the the resistor 1 ohm. Okay. So let's play first the simulation. We have here the play and the stop simulation. So press play to run. Okay, so we are reading 0 volt and 0 ampere. It's because the switch is not on. So let's press on. So, so in 5 volts DC, we have here reading 2.5 volts and 2.5 amp. All right. So let's go to the table again. So the amp is 2.5 and then the volt is 2.5 DC. So automatically the amps is 2.5 and the volt is 2.5. Same. Okay. Next, 2 ohms. Let's put 2 ohms here. Let's stop the simulation. Then let's get the resistor. Let's delete first the 1 ohm resistor. Press delete. All right. Then let's get 2 ohms. Okay. And then connect. Okay. Next, let's play the simulation. All right. So for the 2 ohms, the reading is, let's play the simulation. Okay. 2 ohms, we have here 3.3 for the volts and 1.7 for the amperes. So there's a difference between 1 ohms and 2 ohms. Okay. So in 2 ohms, let's put 1.7 on ampere and then the volts is 3.3 for 2 ohms. Okay. Then last, stop the simulation. Delete the 2 ohms and let's get 5 ohms. Then rewire, connect each wire, and then let's play. Right, we have here the 5 ohms wire, amp, 2, switch, and then bolt the resistor. Then let's play the simulation. All right, for the 5 ohms, the reading is 4.2 for the volt and 0.8 for the ampere. Okay, so let's put it on the table. 5 ohms is 0.8 for the ohms, 4.2 for the volts. Okay, so what do you have noticed here on our sample diagram or conductor? Okay, so we have 1 ohms, uh, 2.5 for the amperes, 2.5 to the volts, same. But when we put higher ohms, lower the amp, higher the voltage. Okay, then another 5 ohms, lower the amps, higher the voltage. Okay, now what is our conclusion here? So we able to accomplish the table. Afterwards, we need to draw our conclusion. So there's 3 options. Lay on the table and choose accordingly. Okay. So first is resistance in the circuit section is directly proportional to the voltage in the section. Inversely proportional to the current. How many times the current increase, the voltage decrease as much. The voltage at this section of the circuit is directly proportional to the product of the current on the resistance of this section. That is the conclusion number 1. The conclusion number 2, resistance in the circuit section is inversely proportional to the voltage in the on this section is directly proportional to the current. How many times the current increases, the voltage decreases as much. The voltage as this section of the circuit is directly proportional to the product of the current on the resistance of this section. So that is the conclusion number 2. Number 3, resistance in the current section is directly proportional to the voltage in this section and inversely proportional to the current. How many times the current increases, the voltage increases as much. The voltage at this section of the circuit is directly proportional to the product of the current resistance in this section. Okay? So, sa ginawa nyo pa lang on the table, you know already the conclusion na. Okay? So, the higher the ohms, the higher the voltage. So, what you going to choose? 1, 2, or 3? Okay, so I'm going to choose the number 3. Let's click. And then afterwards, let's click the next button on the right side. Okay, let's see if we are correct. All right. So our conclusion is resistance in the current section the circuit section is directly proportional to the voltage in the section and inversely proportional to the current. How many times the current increases, the voltage is increases as much. The voltage at this section of circuit is directly proportional to the product of the current resistance of this section. So tama po tayo. So if you notice, higher the ohms, higher the voltage, but lower the current. Right?
All right. Okay, so what a wonderful demonstration from Teacher Lance Aban. Thank you so much. As you can see, the physics lab can cater all the necessary activity in order for us to accomplish a certain activity. So, this Rapid Physics Lab, in virtue of the gamification of the program and well thought out scenario, student interest is highly simulated through the course of the program. For as you can see from the demonstration of Teacher Lance, they will do all the necessary activity for each lesson in order for them to get the correct answer for a certain problem. Then, with ROQED Physics Lab, student can recreate an experience of any complexity without restriction in space and resources. For we give them opportunity to explore and experiment with their own pace. Plus, this ROQED Physics Lab will develop spatial intelligence and critical thinking skills. Then, of course, this ROQED Physics Lab will replace the real components, devices, regions that many schools lack, and with its virtual counterparts. It can be used as well as additional demonstration material in the classroom by the teacher when used both in a smart board or a flat panels in single computer in classes. Plus, it's cheap and more practical. Now, this physics lab is the most important objectives that we have. This is very safe for all the students. Now, if you are interested and if you want us to conduct a demonstration for you to get the complete program, you may contact us at feltomultimedia@gmail.com. And you can also send us your direct inquiry through our gmail.com. With that, thank you so much for all the viewers and God bless.
Complete virtual experimental lab to conduct all K-12 physics experiments. ROQED Physics. With more than 250 physics lab tools, any experiment is possible in a virtual lab. No need to spend money on hardware, no need to spend time on setup, no need to prepare the lab equipment, and no need to worry about mishaps. The first virtual lab of its kind that contains real-world physics and obeys all nature laws. It is all simple. Set up the lab, run the experiment, derive needed values, and estimate the error. Enjoy complete set of equipment to conduct all possible lab in virtual physics classroom. Try all virtual simulations that corresponds to the laws of nature. Feel the accurate and realistic 3D models. Create immersive experience into the virtual world. Run more than 40 pre-installed experiments with step-by-step instructions. ROQED Physics corresponds to all chapters of K-12. Physics, kinematics, dynamics, statics, hydrostatics and pressure, thermodynamics and molecular physics, electric circuits, electricity and magnetism, waves and optics. ROQED Physics, the lab for future Nobel Prize winners.